So this video is for AP Art and Design, formerly AP Studio Art. I'm going to go over a little bit about me, about the course, the syllabus, registration, and student work. So here's a picture of me with my two dogs. This is my 4th year teaching at Adams High School, and I taught for half a year at an elementary school in Warren. My dream has always been to become an art teacher for as long as I can remember. So my job is seriously a dream come true. I went to U of M in Ann Arbor to the art school for my undergraduate degree, and then I have my master's in teaching from Wayne State. And both schools I loved so much. This picture is to exemplify how I'm always wanting to improve. So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and it's kind of a problem because it takes me a long time to do normal things because I want them to be perfect. But it's also kind of a good thing because I have students who want to learn watercolor and improve their watercolor skills. So I went, and I don't like watercolor, but I went to a workshop and I tried to learn to love it. Things like that. Right now, I'm really interested in social work. So I'm always trying to improve because I am a perfectionist, which stinks, but it's also a good thing. I always tell kids my role model is my mom because growing up, this is my mom and our 28-year-old horse who just passed. Growing up, we were always compared to the Gilmore Girls. It was just her and I. But I also thought we were way better than the Gilmore Girls because we had so many pets, which I'll get to. So I teach AP Studio Art or AP Art and Design. I'll use those interchangeably. Ceramics, drawing, painting, sometimes 2D art. And then I also run National Art Honor Society and Art Club with Miss Lamone, who's another art teacher at Adams. This picture, back to animals, is a picture of a bunch of kittens after a bath. So I've had hundreds of animals in my life, fostering them and getting them into good and new homes from difficult situations. And that has also been just a dream come true. I'm also very much interested in gardening as of late, gardening as of late. So if I'm ever stressed, you'll see me out in my garden. And then finally, here's a picture of my 2 senior dogs with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Again, I am an animal lover through and through. So who should take this course? So obviously students are already enrolled in this course, but just so you know, students with a genuine interest in diving deep into the artistic process and creating a body of work should take this course. This course requires that students spend time both inside and outside of class to develop their art. You must work on art at home to be successful. So this course is for students that prioritize art and are excited to get to work. This course is not for students with only a mild interest in art as a passing hobby or for those that cannot accept feedback on personal art. This is a letter I wrote to students for their summer homework, and they had to read this and read some letters from former AP students, and they had to then fill out a Google form with questions they had. But basically, this is an introduction to the course. Feel free to pause this video and look it over. And I will be covering some of the main components of this course in this video. I'm going to skip this. No, skip. Okay. And then sometimes, a lot of the times we have students who take AP their junior year, but also take it their senior year. They repeat it. So if you have a student who is a senior who's repeating the course, you might wonder, okay, what are they going to do now? Or if you have a junior, I have a couple of juniors who already want to take the course next year. And you might wonder, well, what are they going to do next year? So what they can do, there's 3 types of portfolios, which we'll get to, but they can complete the same portfolio type for a higher score. A perfect score is a 5. So they wouldn't, if they got a 5 on a drawing portfolio, they wouldn't submit another drawing portfolio. And then once you submit work to the College Board, it can't be submitted again. So they would have to create all new work. They could also earn additional college credit by completing a different portfolio. So for example, I had a student create a drawing portfolio, and then the next year they did a 2D portfolio. Again, you can't submit work you previously submitted to the College Board, and your portfolio can't be too similar to your last portfolio. Students can include work from last year with this year's portfolio as long as it was not submitted to the College Board. And then also note that last year's work will not count for this year's assignments in our class at Adams High School. I'm going to skip this. AP portfolio types. So there's 3 types of portfolios: the drawing portfolio, the 2D portfolio, and the 3D portfolio. The 3D portfolio is just what it sounds like. It's for students who work with materials like ceramics or sculptural forms. And then the drawing and 2D portfolios are for flat work. So the difference between a drawing and a 2D portfolio is a 2D portfolio might include photo and digital art. Drawing usually includes more traditional materials, but it can include things like digital art. The drawing portfolio, what makes it stand out and separates it from the 2D design portfolio is it's about mark making. So it's about the marks that kids make on their pages or in their art. And I'll go into that with greater depth with students as the year progresses. So the portfolio has two sections. The first is the sustained investigation, and the second is the selected works. The sustained investigation is a series of 15 images. Usually it's 10 finished works of art and 5 process images. So for example, like pictures of experiments or pictures from student sketchbooks or brainstorming. And those 15 images are all centered around an inquiry. And an inquiry is like an idea, an essential question that students are exploring through their art. The selected works section, on the other hand, are 5 finished pieces. They don't have to be related, and they could also come from the sustained investigation, because the person who grades the selected works or who judges the selected works section of the portfolio is different from the person who grades the sustained investigation section of the portfolio. And they don't have to be, again, related to each other, and they can come from anywhere. They don't have to be made this year in AP. They can come from previous art courses. A prerequisite for AP is usually drawing painting unless there's instructor approval to skip that. So a lot of kids will include work from drawing painting in their selected work section of the portfolio, but the selected works are the works that kids are most proud of. It's their home run hits, their finished works of art. And these are actually mailed in physically in a giant portfolio to the College Board, and then they're shipped back to students. They're shipped via snail mail to the College Board, and then they're shipped back to students in the summer. So they get their work returned to them. Here are the rubrics for the sustained investigation in the selected work sections of the portfolio. The sustained investigation is graded on a 1 through 3 scale, and selected works is 1 through 5. You might be wondering how the 1 through 3 and 1 through 5 translate. It's very complex, but here's a breakdown of it. And here's some details about registration. So it is so strongly recommended that students participate who basically students should register for the AP exam in art, because as part of this class, they're making a portfolio anyway. So all students are going to complete the AP exam. They might as well register for it and submit their work to the College Board to earn recognition for their work, because students work so hard in this class. Registration dates are September 14th through October 25th. The cost is $100 per exam, or $15 free reduced. They must have the student or family must have up-to-date paperwork on file with Chartwells to qualify though. Payments for the AP exam are done online through RCS. And then finally, students cannot register for an exam without joining an AP classroom. I will be giving unique join codes so students can access our class. Students will have to manually change their exam status from undecided to yes or no in their account. If they don't change it to a yes and submit payment, an exam will not be ordered. I will be going through this process with students in class, so try not to worry too much. So here's an example. When I said at the very beginning, you might have caught that this class is sometimes referred to as AP Art and Design and sometimes referred to as AP Studio Art. It was formerly AP Studio Art, and the requirements were a little bit different. So I'm going to show you an example of a perfect score portfolio from AP Studio Art, and then one from last year, a perfect score from AP Art and Design, but they're both very similar. So this student came up with this idea to investigate, and instead of a concentration, they had a sustained, or instead of a sustained investigation, they had a concentration. And they concentrated on this idea and they investigated it in their art. And their idea was the connection between Korean culture and the ocean. Now, previously, the concentration, now named the sustained investigation, was made up of 12 finished works of art. There were no process images. Again, now it's 15 15 images with some process images in them. So it doesn't need to be 15 images of finished work. And then before, the selected work section was called the breadth section, and students had to include 12 finished works of art that were their home run hits, and they had to show breadth. So they had to show a variety of skills. And this student didn't include any pieces from her concentration in her breadth section of her portfolio, but she very well could have if she wanted to. So here's an example of a student from this past year. So this student received a perfect score on their AP exam, and you're going to see their 15 images right now that they submitted for the sustained investigation. Notice 3 of these on this slide are finished works and 2 are process images. So those 15 images are made up of usually about 10 finished works and 5 process images. Here's another finished work, process and a finished work, and process. So part of the sustained investigation, what readers want to see is practice, experimentation, and revision. They want to see that you're experimenting, that you're pushing boundaries, that you're practicing techniques that you're employing, and that that you are revising, that you're making decisions and changing them to make more effective and successful artwork. So these are her last 5 of the images. And this is her final piece right here. So a lot of experimentation going on there, a lot of growth. And she was investigating the connection between creation and destruction through her art. So that's what the sustained investigation is about. And in the sustained investigation, each image has a caption under it, but it also has a written response that accompanies it. That is 1,200 characters, including spaces. So her written response, her investigation, her inquiry was, how can destruction act as creation in art? When an artist destroys their work, they are seen as frustrated, tortured souls. I wanted to explore how destruction can break this precedent and have a positive effect on art. And then she goes into detail about how she practiced, experimented, and revised as she was investigating her idea or her question or her theme. So that's the sustained investigation, very similar to the old concentration. The numbers are different, and they also want to see process images. The next section of the portfolio is the selected works. So again, those are 5 finished pieces that physically get sent to the College Board, unless you're doing a 3D portfolio in which you would upload your images digitally. Oh, and all the sustained investigation images are uploaded digitally to the College Board website. So here's the student's selected work section of her portfolio. These we considered her home run hits, like the best pieces ever, the pieces that she's most proud of. 2 of these pieces, this piece she did not do in AP Art. This piece she did at the beginning of AP Art. And these pieces were pulled from her sustained investigation. So again, the reader who looks at your sustained investigation is different than the person who looks at your selected works. So I have more examples of student work on our department Instagram page. Last year, each student got their own post with examples of their work and their sustained investigation and their selected work. So that was really special. Our Instagram page is a way to celebrate students and show off everything they do, because they deserve it. They are so amazing. But it's AHS Highlander Art where you can find us. And we do so much cool stuff. And you can keep up with us and see what we're doing on that page. It's a way to connect with everyone at home, or potential students or current students. And it's a way, again, to show off our students and how amazing they are. So if you have any questions, that was a lot of information. AP Studio Art is probably my favorite course to teach. No, I say that about all my classes. I don't know. I love AP Studio Art, but I hate doing videos for AP Studio Art because it is such a complex course. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is on the last slide. And then thank you very much for being here.